This is Weekly Woman by Jubilance for PMS. Well, welcome, Miyoshi. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So we kind of start off with some more fun questions on the podcast. What is your favorite word in the dictionary?
I don't know what my favorite word in the dictionary is, but I've been saying the word bandwidth a lot. In my conversations, just recently I've noticed, actually, I don't have the bandwidth for that at the moment. So I would say that's my favorite word right now. Just setting boundaries, using that word, bandwidth. Yeah, I like that word.
Wow, I don't think I've ever used that in a sentence, but now I'm gonna have to try it. Like today, I'll be like, I don't have the bandwidth for this.
I never used to use that word, and in the last 2 weeks I've used it every day. So
Incredible. Yeah. I'm gonna try it. I'll drop it into the conversation. What is your favorite TV show that you've watched during quarantine?
Yeah, it's a throwback between Tiger King and recently Bridgerton. I think everyone,
Oh my God.
is obsessed with Bridgerton. I am one of them.
Yes.
So those two, I love those two. They're very different, but
yeah, the opposite sides of the spectrum.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed both of those for different reasons.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, yeah. Who's your celebrity doppelganger?
I don't think I have one. I was thinking about this. No one's ever told me that I really look like a celebrity.
Yeah, I couldn't really think of anyone either for myself, so I don't know why I asked that, but
yeah, no, I don't think I have one.
Yeah, that's cool. So where are you living right now, Miyoshi?
I'm living in Brooklyn, New York, born and raised here, so yeah.
That's awesome. What is your favorite part about Brooklyn?
I just love how authentic it is. I feel like if you ask someone if they, people who have been born and raised in Brooklyn are very prideful of that fact. And I think, whenever you travel in the world, people are like, well, where are you from? And Brooklynites, before we say New York, we say Brooklyn. So it's like, we're from Brooklyn. I just feel like Brooklyn is just its own world at times. And I just love how authentic it is, how diverse it is. And it's so unique, and I really love being from here.
That's awesome. Yeah, where are you from in Brooklyn exactly? What neighborhood?
I was born and spent my childhood in Bed-Stuy, cool. And then we moved to Mill Basin / Canarsie in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
When I was older, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Such cool areas.
Yeah.
That's sure. Awesome. Do you have a favorite restaurant in Brooklyn that we should all try?
Ooh, I don't. I really don't. No, I don't. I love trying out new restaurants. But I don't really have a favorite right now. One restaurant that I went to, which is not in Brooklyn, I went recently for brunch. It's Omar's Kitchen in the Lower East Side. So good. Huh. It's like a fuse between American and Caribbean. My family's Caribbean.
Oh, cool.
So they have amazing Caribbean food, and the ambiance is just amazing. So
that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I have to try that out. Can you talk a little bit about what you've been up to in quarantine?
Ooh, in quarantine.
Yay, what fun.
Right. Yeah. Quarantine. Actually I've been doing a lot in quarantine. So, I have been working from home for about a year now. And I have really been trying to work out more. I have been doing a lot of exercising. Self-care has really become a priority for me during quarantine. So I've been, like I said, exercising, eating better, taking care of my body, but also sleeping more.
That sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, on the professional front, I have been working from home. And that I feel like that work from home thing is a swindle because I'm working so much more hours than I would have if I was in the office.
Yeah.
Yesterday I worked a 13-hour day,
Oh
which
my gosh.
was
That's way
insane.
too long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
So I've been working more, but on the Hate the Dot front, I've been able to do a lot of cool things with Hate the Dot. Last year, we gave away 5,000 tampons.
Wow. And
To
tell us what Hate the Dot is too.
yeah, sure. Sorry, I didn't even talk about Hate the Dot. So yeah, Hate the Dot
Yeah.
is a company that I founded 6 years ago, which sounds insane, but
Amazing.
just the journey of entrepreneurship and the journey of Hate the Dot has taken me through a lot of different things. But I founded Hate the Dot 6 years ago, and our mission is to turn your menstrual cycle into a self-care ritual. Through education, community, and a bunch of different things. And so last year, I was in quarantine, and 18 people in my family were diagnosed with COVID
Oh my God.
at the same time, around the same time. And so there was one point where 18 of the people in my family had COVID, and I was so stressed. It was the height of COVID, and New York City was, going through a lot. A lot of people were dying in New York City at the moment, and I just felt so helpless. And I'm the type of person that, if I see a need, I want to get up and go do something. And so I felt so helpless during the time because I couldn't be with my family. I couldn't see them. And they were going through some really hard times. And I just thought about the country at large, and so many people were going through so much. People were losing their jobs. People were dying. There was just so much happening, and I didn't know what to do. So I asked myself, what can I do with the limited capacity that I had? And so I had a bunch of tampons that I wasn't using for Hate the Dot tampons. And I said, I'm going to give them away to people around the country who needed them. People, had losing their jobs. People weren't able to go to school or, go to places that would regularly provide these things for them. And so I decided to just do that. So one night I was like, I'm going to give away 5,000 tampons. And I just created a website, 5000tampons.com. I spread the word with my network, my family, my friends. And I said, hey, I'm giving these away. And we gave out 5,000 tampons in less than a month.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing during
Wow.
Yeah.
And how is your family? Is everyone okay?
Everyone's okay. Everyone has
Okay.
recovered. Everyone is doing well, thankfully.
Oh, good.
That was a really hard time. Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had COVID in March, April,
Mm.
when it was all happening in New York, and it
Yeah.
was just terrible.
Yeah.
Hope everyone stays safe right now too.
I'm glad you recovered.
Yeah. Oh, that's just really hard when you can't be with your family and
Yeah.
going through that.
Yeah. It was rough.
Oh man. And can you talk more about this community that you're inspiring? So Hate the Dot, as you've said, is about community, about turning this thing that we experience every month into a self-care ritual.
Yeah.
Who's a part of that community? And can you talk a little bit about inspiring them?
Yeah. So last year, at the end of 2019, just to give you a little bit of background, at the end of 2019, October to be exact, Hate the Dot was supposed to launch initially.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were supposed to launch, we were working on actual products. So like the tampons that I mentioned, we had organic cotton pads, we had organic cotton tampons, we had other things that we were going to be selling. And I was gearing up for launch, kind of like I'm gearing up for launch now. And I was really, really excited at the end of 2019, planned this huge launch party, and had been working with manufacturers to get my products developed, designed, spent months doing all of these things. And in one weekend, the entire thing crumbled.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was a Saturday morning. I will always remember this. Saturday morning, got a phone call from the event space owner where I was having my launch party. And he said, hey, Miyoshi, so sorry. I have to cancel all of these events. There's something going on with the building and I can't have your launch party.
Oh no.
So I'm like, okay. So that happened early that morning. And, I was scrambling to find another place and I couldn't find one. So I ended up, canceling the launch party, which was no big deal, whatever. The same day, I went to go get my mail in the mailbox, and I got a letter in the mail from the FDA. And I said, this is odd.
The FDA.
Right. Not random mail, it's from the FDA. So opened it, it said, hey, Miyoshi, we see that you have all of these products coming in from your manufacturer overseas, and we've seized them. We are holding them as your manufacturer is in violation of this code and this and
Oh
that.
no.
I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is the weekend, so I couldn't really
Oh
reach out to
God.
them. So I waited till that Monday to call the FDA and try to figure out what was going on. Spoke to a bunch of officers, and they basically said your manufacturer has to pay all this money to list with us, and if they don't, then we're just going to hold your products or destroy them. So I said, okay. So I just went back and forth with my manager. I was stuck between this dispute between the FDA and my manufacturer. And fast forward weeks, I didn't get my money back. The
Oh,
products were destroyed. I lost all my money,
oh my God.
the products and things like that. And then so that happened on a Saturday, and then the Monday, and then that Tuesday, while I was going through all of that, I get a phone call from Homeland Security.
Oh my God. This is a series of unfortunate events.
It was wild. Asking me all of these questions about my business, about what Hate the Dot is, what am I doing, what are all these products that the FDA has, and so it's just a wild series of events.
Wow.
And basically, all years of work that I had put into Hate the Dot crumbled in one weekend,
Oh my
basically.
God.
And so I was obviously upset and saddened and depressed. And I was going through a bunch of other things personally. And so that was at the end of 2019. So at the end of 2019, I was really sad moving into 2020, and I didn't know what the next step was for Hate the Dot. So I just decided to say, hey guys, I sent it out to my network, like, hey guys, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to put the launch of Hate the Dot on hold.
Mm.
Didn't know what 2020 had in store. So I think that was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because if I would have launched Hate the Dot at the end of 2019, I probably wouldn't have been able to sustain it in 2020, just given all the things that were going on. And I feel like that was a blessing in disguise. And so moving into 2020, I decided to just take a break from Hate the Dot. I put it on pause. I said, I'm going to rest. I'm going to recharge. I'm going to figure out what the next step is. And that's why I made self-care a priority. So I wanted to take care of myself and heal and do all of the things that I needed to do personally, so I can show up as best self for this business. And so took a break, and then I said, I'm going to reach out to my community. I'm going to reach out to people who have been supporting Hate the Dot for all of these years. I'm going to reach out to people who follow us on Instagram who I don't know. And I reached out to people. We had Zoom calls, we had FaceTimes, we had phone calls. And I said, hey, I don't really know what's next, but what do you need from Hate the Dot? Like, what do you need from us? And even though I was developing products and things like that, people were saying, yeah, I do want to use, great products for my period, but I really just want a place where I can figure out what's really going on with my body. And so that was the underlying theme on all of the calls that I had. And I said, this is something. And so I started to develop a community that wanted to address their needs. So Hate the Dot, it's launching in 2 weeks. It's launching on February 24th. And it is a community where members can ask and get answers to all of the questions that they want to know about their bodies. So I spent weeks and weeks in 2020 reaching out to health and wellness experts from all around the world.
Wow.
Asking them questions like, hey, I have these people in this community, or this young girl wants to know about her body. She wants to know about her reproductive system. She wants to know about her period, her menstrual cycle, all of these things. What information can you give us? And I've interviewed a bunch of experts, like I said, from all around the world, and they've given us this wealth of information. And so every week on the community, on the platform, a new session will be uploaded, and a new expert will be featured, and we talk about everything from, like I said, mental health to nutrition and your menstrual cycle to we have guided meditation sessions. We have all of it. And so that's really what it is. That's why community is so important to me, because when I was at my lowest point and I just didn't know what was next, community was the thing that helped me get out of that. And I want that to be a source I want community to be a source for everyone. So.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think like that's what everyone is turning to right now, especially during the pandemic, is that need for community, whether it's just like online or like a Zoom call. So I think you're tapping into something really great, Miyoshi. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I miss the connection. I miss the people.
Yeah.
And so just trying to have a community, just having a community space a safe space where you can connect with people and they can provide support to you, especially during this time, is really key, like you said.
That's awesome. And do you have plans to grow and to create product as well, again in the future?
Eventually.
Or okay.
Eventually, yeah.
Cool.
Eventually.
Yeah, the FDA can't bring you down.
They can't.
Yeah, that's wow, what a wild story. But like you said, I think like a blessing in disguise with 2020 around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And something that we always ask on this podcast is, what is your definition of womanhood?
My definition of womanhood. Wow. I think womanhood is such a beautiful, sacred privilege. Womanhood, it is the image that's coming to mind is just like a blossoming flower. It's so intricate and so beautiful, and there's many layers to it. And it's a little bit mysterious. And there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer to womanhood. It just is, if that makes sense. If I'm explaining it correctly. It's just a powerful thing. I think us as women, we have such power to create and to blossom. I think we're just naturally born as creators and multipliers. I just think womanhood is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I don't have a specific definition. I just have all these like describing adjectives.
Yeah, I think it was nice.
Womanhood is, but I just think it's just so beautiful, and it's so different, but also there's an underlying sameness throughout it all. And so, yeah, that's my definition of womanhood.
I hope that's awesome. Yeah, I love like the blossoming flower that comes to mind for you. I think that's so lovely and beautiful, like you said. So that's awesome. And is there anything else you'd like to add to our listeners today? How can they find out more about Hate the Dot and your launch?
Yeah, so I would say follow us on Instagram at Hate the Dot to get more updates. You can go to hatethedot.com to sign up for email updates. Like I said, our community launches on February 24th, which is really exciting. And so you can sign up for that. You get new expert sessions each week. We talk about a new topic every week. You get access to really cool products that our partners are releasing. There's so many things. There's so many things. Our mission is to turn your menstrual cycle into a self-care ritual. And so one of the sessions that I teach on the platform is about a method that I created. It's called the Rosa method, and it helps you understand your menstrual cycle more in depth. And so I think when we were in school and we were growing up, we just got like one lesson about our menstrual cycle, and it was just kind of like figure it out after that. and so I take you through your entire menstrual cycle and really understanding that, yeah, you get a period, a menstrual period, but there are 4 unique phases in your menstrual cycle that you go through every month. So understanding that and understanding the 4 unique phases, understanding the 4 unique different characteristics that are in each phase, and how to prioritize self-care in each one. And so that I'm really excited about that. And that's just one session on the platform. We talk about how to align your nutrition with your lifestyle and your cycle, to optimize your health. We talk about mental health and anxiety, especially during, the times of COVID and all of the things that are going on during this pandemic. We have guided meditation sessions. We talk about everything. We talk
That's
about
awesome.
so I'm really excited about the platform, and I think so many people will benefit from joining our community. So if you want to find out more, like I said, follow us on Instagram, and sign up for email updates on hatethedot.com.
Amazing, Miyoshi. Thank you so much for being on today.
Yes, I've appreciated this. Thank you so much for having this space to have this conversation.